Let's head over to West Bloomfield, talk to Jennifer Tucker, our good friend, who we see on screen with a big smile. You're always happy, Jennifer Tucker, even during challenging times. She's the executive director of the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Department. How's it going, Jennifer?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Listen, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I got together with my family over the weekend. Wait, don't freak out. We did it via Zoom. It was so much fun. We all did I got family all over the place. So I feel very fortunate. I understand not everybody is so lucky right now, but I feel fortunate. And you look like you're doing well. How's everything going at West Bloomfield Parks?
We're doing as well as we can. We're learning some new things, learning how to do some new things better. And, times like this, it just shows your true colors. So, and how innovative you can be when needed.
I think that's a great point, and we're doing that in my business. We're doing that here with the radio show. We had these radio stations that weren't being really used at area schools. We've got 3 radio stations we're on right now, and we're trying to be innovative and work real hard, put all of our efforts into the show. I know you're doing the same thing on the park side, right? Trying to figure out new ways to get things done during this time.
That's for sure. We are, trying to still encourage people to get out and get active. And the same time, educate people that we really need to keep that 6-foot distance. It's so tough when you see people that you would really like to go up to and have a close conversation. This morning I was at the fire department and we had the same problem. Our coworkers we haven't seen in a long time, but we just want to be close to them, but we just have to make sure that we keep that 6-foot distance so we can make sure that we keep everyone safe.
Well, we got all these people running around saying what a great job our first responders are doing, what a great job the medical professionals are doing. But, if you walk outside and you sneeze in someone's face, then, you're not really helping out. This is cool because we all as Americans have the ability to be a part of this thing and make something good happen. Thank you for your sentiment and your words. They are greatly appreciated by me and I'm sure everyone listening. So we're going to try something interesting here. We've not been doing a lot of this. We are connected via Zoom, and I believe we have Brian Peterson, who is also with us from Bees in the D. Jennifer, before we go to Brian, can you tell us all about Bees in the D?
Sure thing. We started to partner with Bees in the D a few years ago, and between ourselves and the Henry Ford Hospital. Henry Ford sponsors the bees, and we put the bees on our property. Currently, we have some at Shulock Farm, and then also now we're moving some to Carner Farm. So basically, we really are working toward increasing our pollinator count locally. So we really need to walk the walk and increase our pollinators.
Well, I know you people probably don't know this about you. Amongst your many talents, you are also a beekeeper. So bees are really important. We've had essentially almost a bee crisis here in our country without enough bees. And so while this other thing is going on, we got to make sure we still pay attention to that. With that said, let's see what Brian has to say. Brian Peterson, I believe we have him now via Zoom, and there he is, Brian. You're looking good. We see on TV, Brian, for those listening on the radio, Brian is standing in front of a bee operation. You can tell us about it with his mask and gloves on. Brian, welcome to the MegaCast. How's it going out there, and where are you? Describe what we're seeing.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm at the Outdoor Adventure Center. You can see it behind me here, which is right along the DeQuinder Cut. And we have 4 hives here at the Outdoor Adventure Center. And this one's a special hive because you might see some cords going in. We have a solar panel above our head, which was provided by DTE. And that projects or gives power to the camera inside of the hive that then projects into the center so that people can see what's going on inside of the hive, right inside of the Outdoor Adventure Center.
Brian, no offense, but, you're a brave man. Are there bees in that hive right now?
Oh yeah, it's starting to get a little active now that the temperature's rising, and yeah, they're here. They're what people don't understand is honeybees are actually very docile creatures. A lot of times we get them mixed up with the wasp and the hornets,
Okay.
especially the yellow jackets.
Well, listen, I don't like bees, any kind of bee. I just don't like getting stung personally, and I'm a tough guy, you know. You can punch me, you can pound on me, but you get a little bee around me, I turn into a big old crying baby.
Well, you don't have to like bees to appreciate bees, because if you like blueberries and almonds and most of the foods we eat, you like bees because they help provide a variety of food for us.
So during this coronavirus crisis, we got to keep the world going. We got to keep our food chain going. We have to keep doing essential things. Do we have, as long as they're here and you're outside in this amazing facility, do we have a bee crisis here in our country right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, our pollinator numbers they've stabilized a little bit, but they continue to drop. That's not just our honeybees, that's also our native bees, the solitary bees. And they really are important to our food industry and to our ecosystem. So, yeah, there is a problem, and that's one of the reasons we started Bees in the D. But as a teacher, I'm a fifth grade teacher, and I teach at Oakland University. It's very important to get the word out of the importance of our bees and what they provide for us.
All right, so now I got a million questions. So you teach at Oakland University. You are a fifth grade teacher. You do the bee thing, and I can't imagine with all that going on, you have time to be on our broadcast. We went to your Facebook page. By the way, thank you very much for putting our live broadcast today on Bees in the D on Facebook. We greatly appreciate you connecting us to your audience. So tell people what we're looking at for those that are watching and what's important for people to know.
Well, first of all, I'm lucky enough to be on your broadcast because it's actually, I know it seems weird to say this, spring break. And so I'm on spring break now along with all the kids. But so I'm sorry, what did you want me to share
So
about?
that's clearly a beehive right there that you're leaning against. A, is it safe to be leaning against all those bees? And what should people know about a beehive?
Well, actually, honeybees like to live in an empty cavity. So it doesn't have to be man-made boxes. It can be an empty tree. But for hundreds of years now, man has, and women now, of course, we have many women beekeepers in our organization. Humans are now using boxes to actually raise bees, if you will. They're part of the agriculture. So that's an interesting twist to all that's going on. The governor, I'm wearing the mask under her recommendation, but they want you to stay at home. But agriculture is still part of essential roles that we have. And so I have to come out and check on these hives. This is we're getting now out of the winter season, but this time of year is very difficult for the bees because they're running out of extra reserves. So just the other day, I put in some extra food for them, but they are starting to come in and out and bring in pollen and nectar from the early blooming trees and some of the early blooming flowers like crocuses and snowdrops and daffodils.
All right, so I'm dying to know. I know Jennifer Tucker's going to laugh at me because she's a beekeeper and I know nothing about bees. But can't the bees just go to takeout at Wendy's? What do bees eat?
So bees actually have two main things that they're looking for out in the field. They're looking for the nectar and the pollen of plants. And that's important to us because they are cross-pollinating when they're getting that pollen, which then allows our foods to go to fruit. So you name it, if it is out there and it's blooming, that's what the bees are looking for. So some of the trees I'm looking at right now have these big buds, and we don't think of like maple trees, with flowers, but they do have small flowers. That's what becomes those helicopters. Well, those little flowers have nectar in them and pollen that the bees bring back to make the honey that we all love and that they love.
All right, well, I want you to look at that tree right near you and then whisper to the bees while you look at that tree. Just point at it and say, "This bud's for you." I don't know if that'll help or not, but there you go. So you got to get out there and maintain them. If you're not maintaining the bees, then we got a problem. We already have a problem. I assume during a crisis like this, there's just so many little things that need to keep us fed that are part of the system. This is one. I appreciate you pointing it out. And you're in kind of a populated area. You said you're by the DeQuinder Split. Do bees do okay in a quasi-urban setting like we all live in here in southeastern Michigan?
So Bees in the D is pretty fortunate that we are spread out throughout southeast Michigan. Most of our hives are here in the city, up on rooftops or here on the DeQuinder Cut. But we also have bees out in the suburbs, like at West Bloomfield, and we're way up north, like at Blake's in the more agricultural or the rural areas. Our bees actually in the city locations, and there's a lot of studies on this. Our friends at Best Bees have done studies about this. The bees actually are doing better in an urban area than they are in some of the more rural areas.
Well, we certainly aren't right now, but I'm glad at least one population is doing fine, and the bees are. Thank you for your hard work. For kids that are at home, parents that are trying to teach them, do you have resources on your Bees in the D Facebook or webpage that parents can go to and share this story with them? Maybe it'll be helpful in homes around our listening area.
Yeah, so much like Sage and Jennifer, we've gotten very creative because I have had to reschedule or cancel already 12 to 20 of my workshops or my talks. So we're trying to switch a little bit online. We have a volunteer workshop coming up on the 19th. That's via Zoom. We'll see how that goes. We have wonderful volunteers. But we also created a Bees in the D junior page where we have links to, I put together some activities and some different lessons that parents, teachers, kids can do at home that allows them to explore the wonderful world of our bees.
Well, Brian, thank you very much. Thank you for hosting our broadcast. We'll do this again maybe sometime when you're not wearing a mask. We'll get you in the studio, and we'll talk bees a little bit more. We know they're important, and this is a really good study lesson and activity for people that are looking for something to do with their family. And thank you for your part in keeping the food chain in good stead here in the state of Michigan. We salute you. We thank you. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and letting me share. And maybe in the future, we can do a virtual beehive tour, and I'll actually take you in and open up the hive so you can see the bees.
I'll be nowhere in the neighborhood, but I'll watch from here in our studio. So thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm going to skip along. Good to talk to you. Jennifer Tucker, any final words or anything else that you want to ask Brian that I might not have asked him?
No, nice to see you, Brian. But Dave, I would like to tell you just to be safe.
Well, thank you. You be safe, too. You too, Brian. All right, we're going to take a break. We got to get back to the news of the day. Nice to have a couple of minutes to lighten it up. You guys keep up the great work. Jennifer Tucker and Brian Peterson. Jennifer Tucker, of course, the director of West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. Brian Peterson from Bees in the D. Check out their Facebook page, and you'll see our broadcast there right now. Take a look at them online. Go Google them. A lot of really cool organization here in Metro Detroit.